Hey there, everybody. How you doing? How's it going? How you feeling? Today, I'm going to talk to you about some movies that you can watch on Netflix right now. Some that I think are definitely worth your time. And then there's also The Adam Project. No, I'm just kidding. The Adam Project's not bad, and we'll talk about it. I guess we'll lead off with that because that's the newest, hottest movie on this list of movies that I want to talk to you about. So, The Adam Project came out this week on Netflix. The almost said Adam again. The Ryan Reynolds film and directed by one of the same guy that directed Free Guy, and now he's also going to direct Deadpool 3, which is a good combination. I feel like, Shane Levy, something like that. I feel like Ryan Reynolds and him must really like working with each other. I feel like their films have been pretty solid, and this is no exception. Free Guy I liked, and it's tough between which I like more, Free Guy or this one. I think I probably lean towards this one more as a film, like a complete package. I think it's better. It's a better like the filmmaking aspects is better in this, the writing and all that stuff. Free Guy is fun and the concept is good. Like the silly writing or the silly scenarios is fun, but I think this is more of a solid, well-rounded movie. My best way to describe this movie, my one word review is cute. The movie's really cute. There's something about it that is just kind of wholesome, you know. There's a lot of lovey-dovey stuff in this to make you feel nice and warm and, like loving your parents. Be nice to yourself, be nice to your parents, because you never know. The future's crazy, man, right? And you could time travel and be Ryan Reynolds or something. What I thought was going to happen, like when this movie started, I didn't thought I was going to hate at first because he just came across as like Ryan Reynolds, but as a kid, and he doesn't come off as like a kid. But as the movie goes along, it gets better. His tendencies to say quippy stuff fits in better with the rest of the film. But at the start, it's kind of bad. I don't know. Off-putting is a better way. I don't think it's bad. It's just off-putting. I'm like, don't talk like this. Don't talk like Ryan Reynolds. You're 12 years old. All right, talk like a kid. But then he does get a little bit more kidified, and the back and forth between him and Ryan Reynolds, and then later Mark Ruffalo, and even Jennifer Gardner, really solid stuff that I enjoyed. There's not much to say about this. I think the action is really the action is really well done, which is positive because going forward to see him direct Deadpool 3, sorry, that's what you want to see. You want to see that good Deadpool violence action and stuff like that. So the way the director was able to direct action was really good, and I think Ryan Reynolds, if he wasn't doing the stunts, then whoever was really good, and the choreography for the fights was really cool. And I was like, wow, this is pretty good. Can't wait to see blood and guts going everywhere instead of like a vaporizing effect. Yeah, this can be cool. So I'm excited, looking forward to it. What else was I going to say? There's something else I was going to say. Oh yes, the last thing I'll say, that this is a very cute film. It's harmless. The back and forth that they have, the best part of the movie for me was there's this scene where Ryan Reynolds is in a bar. I don't know if he's necessarily waiting for his mom to show up, but hold on. Excuse me. But she does show up, and they have this little scene where he talks about, he's kind of venting, or there's a better word for it, coming to term. He's just kind of like, I guess he's basically venting to his mom about what happened and how he acted, and he's seeing her and he's just really sad, and he gives this emotional speech about being, your son loves you, this and that, and she doesn't realize that he's a son grown up, and I've never seen this before. But that scene was some really good acting by Ryan Reynolds and some really good acting by Jennifer Gardner, and that was like the closest I've, like, I didn't expect to feel like, oh, I'm watching a real movie right now. This is some legit acting that's happening. And the rest of the movie doesn't have that much that much emotion or that much great acting. That was like the one serious scene, and then after that, all the other serious scenes are kind of have jokey aspects to them, like with the dad stuff. It's sweet, and then they playing catch and all that stuff, but it doesn't get as it's always kind of lighthearted, and that seems specifically was really impactful, and I really liked it. It's my favorite scene. 10 out of 10 would watch a whole movie of just like that. Like let's get a drama where a kid grows up and he gets to see his parents. Like let's have that concept, but without all the space time travel violence and action, and have them explore like your childhood and how you were a shitbag to your parents and stuff like that. That would have been great to see. Would have enjoyed a whole movie just of that kind of stuff. Some good acting, good writing. Sorry, I'm just getting over being sick, so I'm real coffee. All right, so that's the Adam Project. I give it like a solid 7 out of 10. Not generic, not bad, but not like amazing, but pretty solid. Ryan Reynolds is funny, and it's good enough to keep your attention for a while. I would recommend you watch it if you want to. It's a little. You could watch it with your kids, but there is some swear words and stuff. But I think the overall message is pretty good. Like if they're 10 or up, you can probably watch it. The kid is 12 in the movie, so there's a lot of bad words said around him. He says some bad words, so if you're not against bad language in your household, it'd be a good one to watch with your kid. Okay, let's talk about the next one. I guess we should talk about Wind River. This is a movie that I saw a bunch on Netflix. Scrolled past it a bunch of times. I was interested, but I was like, don't want to spend my time on it. And then I saw a TikTok about someone going into depth, not into depth, but like trying to convince me to watch it, basically. And I was like, all right, fine, I'll watch it. Like what convinced me was like they started talking about this guy who directed it, Taylor Sheridan. He's also wrote Hell or High Water. He writes and I think created Yellowstone, which is a big show that people fucking love, which I should probably watch now that I know that he's involved in it. He wrote Sicario. This dude is a good writer. He's writing some really interesting shit. And so he directed this. This is one of his director credits. Excuse me. He directed Vile, Wind River. Those Who Wish Me for Dead is a movie that came out last year. And then he's got TV credits. But he directed this movie? I didn't even realize that. That one with Angelina Jolie. Yeah, maybe I should give that a shot. See what the rating is. It's a 6. So not as good as Wind River, but Wind River has a 7.7 out of 10. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. If you ask me. So it follows the story of a game warden, and he comes upon a murder, and there's this whole crime element, and FBI comes and investigates, played by Elizabeth Olsen, and your main guy, Jeremy Renner. So we got Hawkeye, and we got Scarlet Witch up in this piece, doing some cool, fun stuff. And if you like, crime dramas, mysteries, this is a movie for you, definitely. I won't give away any kind of spoilers because I really think you should watch it. If you haven't, the third act of this movie is so insane and it's so awesome what happens that you just have to see it and experience it for yourself. Like the way when you get to this certain point and there's just this brilliant cut and it's a complete switch and you're like, whoa, what the heck? And then you understand what's happening. You're like, oh my, this is awesome. And then it just keeps getting better. And you're like, wow. The third act of this movie is fucking amazing. And it kind of, it pulls you along in a good pace. But then when that gets to that third act, it's like, man, it's worth it. Like the slow burn at first, the investigation, and then boom. You're like, whoa. So check out Wind River, please. Do yourself a favor before it goes. I think The other two movies on this list are going away from Netflix after March 31st. All right, so that's Wind River. 8 out of 10. Good performances, good writing, and yeah. Now let's talk about the last film, a childhood favorite of mine that I finally was able to rewatch. It's called Hook. Directed by the great and powerful, only the most famous director of all time. The fuck is his name? Directed Jurassic Park. Steven Spielberg. So, Hook, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring. I should write these shit down before I do these videos, shouldn't I? Starring. I can see his face. Oh no. Excuse me. Robin Williams. I have to look it up. It just hits me out of nowhere when I get the pressure off. I'm like, yeah, like under pressure. I'm thinking about it too hard. Robin Williams, starring Robin Williams as the titular Peter Pan. Well, not titular because titular would be Hook, James Hook, played by David. Let me just look it up. Because I know is David Dustin Hoffman, who is like only 5'5", by the way, or 5'6" or something. He's really short. I did not know that, and he's really old too, by the way. So Dustin Hoffman as the titular Hook. And I was really, really moved, like, to watch this again because I watched it so many times in my childhood, and let's see what it has on IMDb. 6.8. Boo. I give it an 8. A lot of people say that it is nostalgia glasses, and I do agree to that somewhat. It's not the best film Steven Spielberg's ever made, but the production design, the detail, the sets, the wonderment, the filmmaking, all that stuff is really great. And you can tell, like, work went into it. It looks amazing still after all this time. The production design is just great. Like, it's so fun to see movies with, like, good sets and good, like, production design. Like, there's a part where they jump through these little, like, walls. They're like plaster, or they're like a sheet of, like, you know, of some kind of material, and the Lost Boys jump through them, and it sticks to them and becomes like armor for them. And I'm like, oh my god, that's so cool. Like, why? Like, that's just something neat that you thought of to do, you know? And the makeup, the costumes, it's just a fun time. There's some weird stuff in it, like there's a lot of kissing of Robin Williams. He gets kissed by like these mermaids. And I know he's supposed to be underwater, like, and he can't breathe, obviously, so they're giving him breath. But he's just making out with these mermaids, and he's married, and he also kisses Tinkerbell, and he's married. There's a lot of weird stuff like that, and it would make sense if they really showed the mermaids helping him in some way, like getting him out of the water, or like swimming him to the shore or something. But it kind of just cuts, and he's in this basket that's like lifting up. And I'm like, how the fuck did he get in that basket lifting up? Why did that scene even happen? Why did it need to happen? Why did he need to fall in the water? I guess it's to show that everyone knows him on this island, even the mermaids in the water. I don't know. But performances are good. Music's good. It still makes me tear up a little bit whenever I see him, like, thinking about his happy thoughts, and whenever Rufio dies, and whenever there's a little boy, like, pushing on his face. It's like, there you are, Peter. It's just, like, very emotional, and it took me back to a place of my childhood. And I think that's why I got more emotional than the movie itself, because it's dramatic, and there's whimsical music and stuff, but it's not like, you know, you're the most invested in it. If you grew up watching it and you rewatch it, then I think that's what really hits you, the nostalgia, and it takes you back to that childhood. And I got that feeling, and the childhood feeling, and I was like, oh man, I haven't seen this in so long. And that's what really got me, you know? So it's probably more like it's probably rated okay. It's probably more like a 6 out of 10. But because of the nostalgia for me, it goes up to like an 8. And the production design and just the story of Peter Pan is pretty cool and interesting. There's like there's like a super interesting lore around Peter Pan. So if you watched Hook when you were growing up, this is a perfect time to rewatch it. And there you go. That's 3 movies you can watch on Netflix. 3 very highly recommended. Well, the Adam Project. You could watch it. That's fine. But rewatch Hook and check out Wind River for sure, guys. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you for checking out the show. This is what I watched this week, by the way. Didn't even say that in the intro. But yes, you take care. Subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment of movies I should watch or movies I should review, and I'll possibly do it. Bye-bye now.